Hi, welcome everybody. Just welcome to our first Quest Connect for 2024. And as we are all diving into the new year's together with humanity, it's a great time to reflect and review and ponder and think about the year to come. It's a marker in time. So today our time together is going to be about really how to prioritize and set those values and think about really the theme of Patria's book, Your Life Matters. Your Life Matters in 2024. And we're going to do a process together today and be together to really focus in and review some of these principles again and hopefully commit ourselves to this way of life for 2024, that we're going to make a commitment to prioritize ourselves and our well-being no matter what is happening. Because I've worked for decades with many people, both having a diagnosis, supporting someone with a diagnosis, having all the problems that we can all have. And I myself also am a carer for someone with a disability. And what I know from decades of really needing to navigate this well myself personally and support many others to do so is that self-care isn't an added extra, that prioritising our own well-being is actually has to be the first step to our longevity as humans and as carers and as supporters. And so I'm just reading a comment that says the sound is a little interference, and I'm just going to turn my aircon down in case that's what that is. Just one moment. Hopefully technology is the most difficult part of this job. So hopefully that's better. So welcome, and I'm coming to you from the land of the Gubbi Gubbi people this afternoon in Queensland, and feel very honoured to be on this land and doing this work with you today. So let's start our time together with a guided meditation, and perhaps if someone, no difference, okay. So I'm just going to try and someone's kindly letting me know that there's a sound issue, and if anyone doesn't have a sound issue, perhaps you could let me know, because it is annoying when you want to hear what someone's saying and you can't. Let's just see if that has helped at all. If anyone else is having trouble with the sound, you could let me know. So what we wrote in the introduction for today was about we can't prioritise ourselves unless we have effective boundaries. And I'm sure all of you have heard about boundaries, and you know that we talk about those at Quest, and you know they're talked about in the culture today, the idea of boundaries. And really boundaries is the ability to say no when we need to, and to make choices about where we put our priorities. So if someone could let me know if the sound is okay. Okay, thank you, Cesar. Beautiful. No issues, sound is very clear. Thank you so much. Really helpful. So having effective boundaries is really key to being able to prioritise ourselves, because we need to be able to make effective choices about how we prioritise and spend our time, our attention, our energy, our money, where we focus on what we do. And it's one of the core messages of the Quest program and Patria's work is that we can't make the best choices, do the best with the challenging scenarios in our lives if we're not in good shape ourselves, if we're exhausted, if we're distracted, if we're really feeling, worn out and devastated, it's very hard to have creative responses, make good choices. It's hard to know what we need. And so it's really important that we learn to develop these habits of knowing what we need first and finding effective, simple, easy ways to meet those needs for ourselves on a daily, regular basis. So a small example, what might that be? Small example over the holiday season, like many of you, perhaps we've had wild storms and things going on and off and all sorts of, mini dramas happening, just things to get through. And I thought, oh, my brain needs some extra help. I'm getting a bit frazzled, I'm getting a bit snappy. So I thought something came up on somewhere in my YouTube with, one of the lovely 528 kilohertz help your brain with negative thoughts. And often I get a bit impatient with those that don't quite work for me. And I thought, oh, what the heavens, I'll just give that one a chance. And I really liked it. Oh, that's one's working for me. So now it's my new best friend. I have it on my phone. I play it in the background when I'm reading, when I'm working, when I'm talking to my son. I've got this music on, and it's just another addition to my daily self-care. So they're the kind of things we're thinking. I became aware that my nervous system was getting frazzled and I was getting irritable, which is an irritable nervous system. It's not who I am. I don't want to be snappy, bad-tempered, cranky person. So when I notice I am being, it's like, okay, what else can I put in to my experience to assist my nervous system to be able to do better? So I'm not talking about the huge needs, I'm talking daily needs. And coming to talk to you today, okay, what do I need before I sit down? It's like, I need to have something really nourishing to eat before I do the program. That kind of self-care, simple self-care, is part of what we're talking about. But it is about prioritising. I want to come and be with you and do a good job. What do I need to help me do that so that I feel fluffed up, as we like to say at Quest, nurtured, nourished, ready to go, ready to engage and enjoy this experience with you today, or whenever you're listening. If you're listening on the replay, no matter how long, we know that it all can happen in the moment of now, or in this moment. So really today is about how do we put into practice those boundaries and create that balance for ourselves. And always at Quest we're saying it does start with self-awareness. We need to be aware. At the end of the day, when you're getting yourself ready for bed, and hopefully you're doing lots of nourishing, nice, nurturing, soothing, calming things for yourself to help yourself sleep, go, did I have, what kind of day was that for me today? Yes, I did that, the other one, this, that, and the other. Was I in a lot of pain today? Was I anxious and agitated quite a lot today? Well, then what do I need now that might help me with that as I go to sleep? What might assist me? Do I need to listen to a beautiful, soothing voice? Do I need to watch something lovely, soothing on YouTube? Do I need to hear lovely sounds? Do I need to spend time patting my pussycat or my puppy dog? Or is there a human I can cuddle? Is there a teddy bear I can cuddle? What would be soothing for me above all the things, all the options? It's that kind of building that nourishing relationship with ourselves as actually the person who cares most about the quality of my day is me. And actually the person who has the most ability to make it a better day for me is me. To make sure I stop and get me the coffee I want, to get me the treat I want, to give me 15 minutes with a book in a quiet place. You fill in your blanks, have my music playing, all the things. And many people forget themselves and have really been trained to think of others first, which sounds beautiful, but I'm not sure that's actually what Jesus meant. Treat others, actually he said, treat others as you would treat yourself, not instead of. But some of us have been raised with ideas that that's very selfish, to prioritise ourselves. Whereas we know when we go on an aeroplane, they don't say run around and make sure everyone else in the cabin's right first before you put your oxygen mask on. They say you put your oxygen mask on first, even if you've got an infant on your lap. If you're not breathing, you can't help anybody else. And that's really the flavour of today. So hopefully everything's evened out and you can all see me and hear me well. And Roz, YouTube, just put in that 528k hertz into YouTube and you come up with a fabulous array of things to choose from. So let's today now do a guided meditation together. We love our guided meditations at Quest for Life, and we have all beautiful ones that you can find on our website, led by Patria. And today we're going to do one that we do in a group when we're together at the Quest program, called the Pool Meditation, which is one that I devised really for training counsellors and other people, but a beautiful meditation for this kind of experience. So if you're comfortable to close your eyes or gaze softly out your window, wherever is soothing for you, please do so. And be in a comfortable seated or lying position, whatever is available to you today. And we'll start by feeling the soles of our feet on the floor. And there's all sorts of nerve receptors in the soles of the feet, so just bring your attention to them and send little messages out from the soles of your feet into the earth. And sometimes we feel a connection between the electromagnetic field of the body and the electromagnetic field of the earth. Sometimes that connection can be felt. Maybe see if that's available to you today, to experience that connection in your field. And then bringing your awareness up to the sensation of your body, sitting or lying on your chair, the bed, wherever you are, feeling that weight of the presence of the physical body, and just noticing it, tuning into it without judgment. There it is, the body at rest for this moment, and bringing our awareness up into the heart. And maybe you can feel your heart beating or not, but you're aware that it is there and it is beating for you without your direction. So tuning into the heart area, and we know that we associate the heart energetically with love and affection and kindness and caring coming from the heart. So just tuning in now to your heart space. And then bringing our awareness up to the brain, our wonderful, magnificent Porsche in the garage at the skull, fabulous, amazing organ that science is just starting to be able to describe how much it can and does do in every waking and sleeping moment. So tune into that magnificent organism, and let's bring our attention to the left side of the brain and switch it over to the right, switch it over to the left, switch over to the right, over to the left, over to the right. And maybe you can feel as you do that a greater sense of balance, or a sense of balance coming in as we balance the brain chemistry, invite the brain to be more oxygenated because we're focusing on it with intention, and invite the physical brain to be really an active, alive participant in our experience right now as we go to use our imagination and our visualization. So our ability to create sight behind closed eyes with our mind's activity. And this is a wonderful gift that we have at our disposal, because we know that creating visions with our mind can change our heart rate, switch on our immune system, change the brain itself. So let's go ahead now and use our imagination to imagine ourselves standing in a beautiful forest in nature, perhaps a gorgeous rainforest, cool, a gentle breeze caressing your face, feeling the air thick with the feeling of the trees and the plants, smelling the beautiful aromas of the earth and the plants, nature itself, hearing the sounds of the rainforest, the birds, seeing the dappled sunlight and the light streaming through the sunlight as we stand in a clearing in this beautiful, nurturing, safe, gentle forest. And we notice there's a path in front of us, and we start to walk along that path, just bathing in the beauty of this environment. And this path quite quickly and gently leads us to a beautiful pool. It's got lilies floating on the surface, there's fish jumping, there's birds diving in and sitting on the water, and around this beautiful pool there's some gorgeous rocks bathing in the sun. And we take ourselves now up to a rock that looks appealing to us, imagining that they're there with a beautiful group of people all supporting each other to be around this pool together. And as we settle in and sit on the rock, we feel it warmed by the sun, we feel its surface underneath us, and we feel the energy of the sun stored in the rock just infusing us with a beautiful warmth and this very solid, supported, grounded feeling. And we can hear the water trickling into the pool from a gentle waterfall. And we feel ourselves supported and grounded and still on this beautiful rock. And we become aware that this pool is a very healing, magical place with the healing energies that nature does provide us. And we know that this pool has incredible depth and is actually capable of absorbing energetically all the energies and all the toxins and experiences that feel difficult in life. The energy of those, the stress of those experiences, the strain of these experiences, we know that this pool has the capacity to absorb that energetic frequency. And so as we sit here with our eyes closed and tuning into this property, this strong energy, you know, you go to some places and you just feel there's a strong energy, a healing, supportive, loving even energy that it's hard to describe. You can feel that in this place, in this pool. And so now we're saying, wow, well, while I'm here, I'm going to take advantage of this gorgeous environment, and I'm going to knowingly and willingly pour into it all the stress and strain and grief and frustration and loss and anger and disappointment, and you name any other of the feelings that you've been battling with this year, last year, 2023, the feelings and experiences that were just made that year difficult in any way. We're going to energetically pour the memories, the feelings of those experiences into the pool, in your mind's eye, and that energy is going to come from your heart and from your gut, where you feel those churning emotions, and from your mind, from the thoughts, the repetitive thoughts. Oh, not this again. Why is this always happening to me? I don't think I can do this. I feel overwhelmed. I feel exhausted. I don't know how to do this. It's too much. It's too hard. I'm on my own. No one cares. Any of those thoughts. I'm not good enough. I must have done something to deserve this. Any of those thoughts, pour them into the pool now. Just imagine them coming from your brain, from your throat, if there wants to be a scream coming out, and you might, if you're private at home, make that scream, or just in your silence, scream to the computer screen where no one can see you. Pour it out, think it out, scream it out, scream it out. Open your heart floodgates of the pain and the loss and the frustration, the anger, and flow it out in the guts, the butterflies and the anxiety and the clenching of the anxiety. See if Allow that to let go and let it out. Let it flow out into the pool, into the pool, into the pool. And really ask the body now, body really asking you to release this energetic that I've been holding on. And whether I've been holding on with my hands or clenching it with my teeth or gripping it with my stomach or holding my shoulders up high or having my hands in fists, holding my thumb tight, all the things we do, those expressions, a pain in the ass, a pain in the neck, having a tight neck, all those things. Body, I'm asking you, giving you permission now to release that. Let's go for 10%. Could you 10% release that into the pool? Could you, on the next out breath, 15% let it out into the pool? Could you, on the next breath, 20% let it out into the pool, and just see how far your body is able to go with that today. Go with that idea and experience that you can release this out of your system into the pool. There's no such thing as 100%. It's not all or nothing, and if we do 20%, we're doing great in terms of the nervous system. So just see that happening, imagining that pouring out of you, whatever that looks like, feels like. Just use your imagination on your behalf to see that, and then when you feel like that might be done for the moment, bring your awareness to land back into the body, sitting on your rock on that pool. And just notice if there's any difference. Does the body feel different? Do you feel different? Is there something else that wants to come forward? You might let that out. Is there a little version of you sitting next to you on the rock? As you know, we talk a lot about our childhood experiences, and the little one inside us often has things she or he needs to release. And if they do, imagine releasing that now. And then as you sit there, just connecting again with the rock and inviting your tummy energy to just close over again. Your solar plexus, your heart, just like wings folding around you. Bringing your mind to a resting place and going, okay, how does that feel now to have released that energy? And if I bring my awareness up through the brain and up through the canopy of beautiful trees over the waterfall and the pool, up through the clouds into the sunlight, can I tune into a higher blue sky, energy of the sun, the planets, the moon and the stars, this great big amazing universe that I belong to? Is there a different energy in that frequency, in that area of my consciousness that I could bring forward, bring in for my setting forth on the journey of 2024? And this is not about wishing that things would get better or making resolutions. This is about actually sending my consciousness up higher than the earthly concerns for this moment, into that higher energetic frequency that keeps the stars and the galaxies spinning and the earth in her place spinning around our sun in a great big amazing universe. Something keeps that all going. We are part of it, clearly. It's all of life. It's all of an energetic field, a quantum field. Tapping into that right now. And is that, some of that energy, could that be described as a frequency of love or light? What might be there in your imagining? And is that part of you, your true nature, your first nature? Can you breathe in that universal energy? The universe is not another version of God or Santa Claus giving and withholding. The universe is constant energetic experience. Bringing in that energy of that energetic experience, saying wherever the love in my heart comes from, wherever the notion of my soul comes from, in that universal energetic, Can I bring that into my brain and my heart and my being now? Can I claim that energy that is there into my being now for 2024 for me to live the best version that I can come up with my energetic, my creativity, my intuition for 2024? And can I feel that land in my system, land in my gut, and say, I don't choose to live another year ruled by fear, ruled by doubt, ruled by negative emotions. And I'm not going to, it's not about turning the negative into the positive. It's about knowing that my heart wants to love. My heart loves to be grateful. My heart always wants to choose my best option. And can I welcome that, my first nature, into my conscious experience of this year moving forward? And just see if any version of that lands true for you in your system right now. And maybe you have your own words, your own sense of that experience for you. But know that it is about you in this moment. It is about your life, your experience of your life in this moment. And so once again, feeling yourself on that rock, the incredible holding of nature, the beauty and peace and stillness of the pool. And imagining now that you gracefully find a way to stand up from the pool and go back down that path, finding again, stepping into that clearing in the rainforest, and imagining that you bring your awareness now back into your own awareness, into your body, into the center of your being. As you get ready to take a breath and gently open your eyes and come back into your room and your space. I hope that was a pleasant experience for you, and that you may have a different feeling now than before. And if you want to share some of that with me in the chat, that'd be gorgeous. If not, fine. But if not, we'll keep talking. But just notice, we talk at Quest about all the things that are second nature to us. I have to do this, I should do this. Perhaps feeling, if I'd done better, I should do better. All the shoulds, all the things that keep us separated from loving ourselves and caring for ourselves. And it is absolutely vital that when we're dealing with difficult situations, difficult emotions, that we are able to create a life for ourselves based on our own values, which I'm going to assume for today that you would all join me in saying a value that you have is to be loving to, let's say, everyone, potentially. Let's be Buddhist for a moment. We're not Buddhist or anything at Quest, but let's say, because the Buddhists have a beautiful chant that may all beings be well and happy. And could we just go, I would love all beings on planet Earth to be well and happy, to be well fed and peaceful. I would love that. That would be a value. So what I can do is make sure that I am doing what I can for this being to be as well and happy as I may be with all the things I'm dealing with. And that I would love to share that when I can with other human beings to be well and happy. And in order to do that, I need to make sure I keep focusing on how I am and what my time is being devoted to, what my energy is going towards, and that I prioritize and protect my inner environment and my outer environment. One of the ideas I like to play with is, once I read a piece of research that said we have to have a minimum of 15 minutes of fun every day. And so some days I just check in with myself and go, did I have 15 minutes of fun today? And I go, oh, I don't think I did. I go, okay, well, I'm going to have it right now, right? So I'm going to read my fun book, or I'm going to watch a funny video, or whatever it might be for you. I'm going to find that 15 minutes of fun. I'm not going to let a day go by where I haven't enjoyed myself for at least 15 minutes. Now that might seem impossible. You may have someone in your life who's getting ready to leave the body. You may yourself be dealing with a very painful illness. I know what a big ask that is, and I don't make it lightly in any way. 15 minutes of fun could be I'm going to smell something beautiful in an aromatherapy, or I'm going to eat something beautiful, you know, but it's a commitment we make to ourselves. My life does matter. I'm here to live it for my own reasons, creativity, contribution, whatever makes sense to you of that. And I need to identify how I can align myself with the values that I have, which is I value my being. And you imagine you might all have beings in your life, pets, children, partners, siblings, parents, friends, loved ones. I hope you have at least one or two, and that say just as much as I value any of them, there's no reason ever to value myself less. That is such a falsely, I think it started as Christian, but you know, this false idea that you've got to selflessly give to others, and it's not sustainable. And if we're consumed by worry all the time, we're not giving to ourselves, we're heaping fear onto ourselves, and we wouldn't do that to anyone. So it's really important that we find ways to nurture our mind particularly, because you know the events that are happening, the dastardly deeds, all the D's we call them, the death, the divorce, the devastation, the depression, the doubt, the daughter, we, you know, think of all the D's, the drought, the disaster, all of those things that happen. We can't control those. We can, but we want to be in as good a shape to respond to them as we can possibly be. And that is all about what's going on in here, in our brain, in our mind. And the brain, if it goes into disaster mode for too long, it just stays there. And any of you with a diagnosis of PTSD know that. The PTSD is basically your brain gone into disaster mode and it can't come out. It's having real trouble coming out. So it's so important that we think about this. That if you have a should or a have to and it's depressing you and getting you down, go, wait a minute, whose value system is this? Whose values am I working on? Who said I'm not good enough? Who said I can't get over this? Who said I have to do this now? And maybe it was your parents, maybe it was whoever. It's like, okay, I'm a grown-up. I get to choose. And I say, I'm going to find a way out of this. I'm going to find my way forward. And people who struggle with intrusive thoughts and waves, tsunami waves of feelings that PTSD brings, and waking up with disasterizing, catastrophizing in the middle of the night, we have to be creatively vigilant about dealing with that, responding to that. Not saying, oh God, no, here we go again. It's like, oh, here we go again. My value is to love myself and love this brain no matter what. It's gone into disaster mode. I need to help it and find people who can help me to help it find a way clear. So some of those 528 hertz things are really great for that, to get the brain into a different vibration. There's all sorts of technologies and wonderful body works and things that can help. It's like my commitment is where money, time and energy allow, I'm committed to finding that for myself. If I'm in a depression and I'm feeling really darkened down, I just need to wake up every day and go, I'm going to find the love in this day. I don't have to be happy, I don't have to like it, I'm just going to find the love. And sometimes a very deep depression myself, I could only find the love in my puppy dog. It's like, okay, I love that dog, and that dog loves me, and he's all I got. I was like, okay, I'm going for a walk with him. That's what I'm doing, right? I do still love the beach, and I feel like absolute, you know what, and I'm going to get myself to that beach and sit and look at that water, no matter what. Like, this is a commitment to prioritize what I value that can nurture me, can sustain me, can align me with a place where it's not that everything's better, it's not, oh, it's all going to be okay, it's not nothing bad will ever happen again. These are not real possibilities, right? We don't know. It's that I'm worth it. I care about how I feel. I want to be in the best shape to respond lovingly and kindly to whatever's coming next. So that diving into 2024 is about, with a priority, a commitment to, I'm going to work it this year. Work it till it works. It's one of the sayings you hear in the gyms and things, and we're not about no pain, no gain. I don't think this should be painful, and hope has to have legs. We do have to have commitment to go, I don't want to get up, I don't want to go for a walk, I can't do another thing. It's like, okay, honey, I hear you. This is me talking to me. I hear you, I do. And I really have a memory that if I did get up and walk around the block right now, I'd actually feel better, not worse at the end. So I'm going to make this huge effort to levitate you out of this chair right now, because I actually know that I could feel better at the end, not worse. So do you have a version of that? You wake up, I don't want to meditate, I'm sick of that crap, yes, I hear you, I do. But if you could just do a 1 minute coming to your senses, or 3 ohms resentfully in the shower, I don't care, even that little bit can make a difference. What did I learn at Quest? If I just hum, that can make a difference. I mean, we're finding these things now about what they do to the brain, what they do to the nervous system. And they're simple, free, easy, but we have to remember them because we're committed to ourselves. And sometimes I go, oh, wow, when did my tummy get into that knot? When did my mood take that dip? When did my nervous system get so irritable? And we usually don't feel it on the build-up. When you jump at a loud noise, go, whoa, when did I get that jumpy, right? I have a lovely mirror that lifts at me and goes, you're in a cranky mood today, Mum. What's the matter with you? And it's like, good question. I am in a cranky mood. What is the matter with me? Let me check that out, right? Because it's an indication that I haven't been doing enough self-care, that more things have come at me. This happened, that more things came at me than usual. And so I forgot that when that happens, the self-care has to go up, not down. As Mahatma Gandhi said, I have a very busy day today, so I have to meditate even longer. Because normally I have a very busy day today, I won't be able to fit the meditation in. But we have to go, oh, that was like 3 things came at me just then. A doctor's appointment or a hospital visit, or go, whoa, there were, I was there the other day in a medical waiting room. It's like, oh, I'm sitting in a room full of sick people. Don't like that. I, found it hard to get here in park. That was stressful. Don't like that. And there's something going on in the body that's uncomfortable. Don't like that. So there's 3 things already before I hit the doctor, right? So to say, okay, when you come out of there, as it turned out, there was nothing to be worried about, but as you come out of there to go, now that was 3 extra things that I had to kind of take on the fly, so I need to give myself 3 extra things, moments of rest, times of peace. And sometimes for me it is, so I won't go home straight away, I'll sit and look at that lovely view there, or I'll go and get a coffee on the way home, or I'll just give myself some recovery time. before I do the next thing. Now, we don't always have that luxury, I know that, but when we do, it's important that we take it and get better at noticing. If you've been to Quest, you'll remember that great exercise we do where we make our own list of what are the things that tip me over the edge and what are the things that help me fluff up. And if you've never done that, I really suggest you do it from today. If you could, when we finish or sometime today, make yourself a list of what are the three if possible, behaviours that alert me to the fact that my ability to self-care or that my overall coping resilience level has gone down. So for me, it's jumping at loud noises, snapping at people, getting unreasonably irritated at things my dogs do, fill in the blanks, extra ones, right? Things not being where they should be, right? Those, right? I've got my 6 list. Find myself thinking self-critical thoughts, criticising myself, that's 1. Right, these are the indicators. Avoiding things. Right, they're the things that go, look at me doing that, without judgment, without criticism. So that means I need to go straight to the list of what are 6 things that really fluff me up. So we have on our YouTube feed, at the top, 2-3 comedians who are guarantee a laugh out loud laugh instantly, right? Or I can always. An episode, 20 minutes of Young Sheldon or Big Bang or Modern Family, they're my top of the picks. The 20-minute episode, have a laugh, that'll just give my brain a break. Is my music on? Is my brain balancing music on? Oh, look at that. No, it isn't. Get that on. Have a nice tea, something, right? We've got to put in the extra effort. When we feel ourselves, I've gone out of balance. I've gotten irritable, restless and discontent. As the alcoholics describe, what sets them up to start drinking? Very sensible. So I need to halt. That's their formula. If I'm hungry, angry, lonely or tired, I need to take care of that first. And this is what the 12-step programs teaches people with addictions to do so that they won't bust again. And if we've got PTSD, depression, anxiety, it's the same formula as a winning formula. The anxiety's just ramped up a notch. I need to stop and address that. I need to go get my feet in water. I need to have a soothing drink. You will find your beautiful things that help you. Because this is about, I am nurturing this proactive approach, active, trying to get ahead of the curve to my self-care. I start the day and end the day and put in the middle of the day something that makes me feel good. Is it a meditation? Is it a favourite happy song? Is it a little happy dance? Is it some yummy healthy food? At least 3 times a day. Give yourself a landing station. Okay, before I get into the day, got to be a 3-minute, and maybe it's your shower. I love my shower, but I'm going to be present in the shower. I'm not going to let myself worry all the way through the shower. I'm going to feel the water. I'm going to be so grateful that I have hot, clean water to shower in. I'm going to enjoy the feeling of that on the body. I'm going to love my fluffy towel. That I make it a mindful gift to myself. Or as my yummy breakfast. I love my breakfast. Or as my stretches that I do before breakfast. Or a walk I do before I go to work. Make sure there's one every day. And if you're really crook, you're really sick, you don't have any of that available, it's like, I'm going to make sure I listen to Patria's voice for 5 minutes at the start of my day. I'm going to listen to some beautiful 10-minute, 5-minute meditation that I can find on YouTube the start of every day. I'm going to find something to be grateful for. I'm grateful for my support worker. I'm grateful for my NDIS funding that allows me to get help. I'm grateful for Quest. Whatever, right? And at the middle of the day, can you make a commitment that you will stop? And maybe it's, I'm hungry, I need lunch. Okay, I'm going to make sure I stop. I have something enjoyable for lunch, with lunch, at lunch. You know, hopefully you love the food that you're eating. But if you don't, I'm going to have a beautiful drink, or I'm going to sit and eat it look at a lovely view, or 10 minutes of telly. I'm going to do something nice that fluffs me up at lunch. And the same at the end of the day. And hopefully that's dinner, and then hopefully that's bedtime. So that's 4 times a day. Could you make that commitment to yourself? I'm going to stop at those times and make that commitment to prioritize myself at least 4 times a day. When I have a meal and when I'm getting ready for bed. Well, I don't think it's too much to ask you to do for 2024, and maybe you do some of that. But let's say I'm going to up my game this year. I'm going to really let myself know how much I care. Now, some of you have heard me at Quest. I talk to myself with great terms of endearment. Why? Because I like it. Because I love it. I go, oh, sweetheart, what's happening? Why is the tummy going AWOL? What's going on? And someone goes, I don't know. Okay, all right, you don't know. Stop. Let's take a minute. Have a few breaths. Right. Okay, find that place. Imagine yourself at the pool. Okay, what can we do? Like I talk myself through that day. Very happy I was to find that neuroscientists have put out the word finally that talking to yourself is not a sign of craziness. It is actually very brain restorative, because, get this, if you haven't heard it, I love this fun fact, putting thoughts into words shifts the blood flow in the brain to the frontal lobe, which balances the brain. So actually talking things out, if you live on your own, you don't have someone there, you just go right ahead and say that to yourself, because that is helping your brain. When people go, oh, talking about it doesn't do anything, it's like, actually it does. It does a lot. Talking to yourself shifts your brain energy, and talking about it to another person also shifts your brain energy, and then you've got a whole lot of stuff to take in the interaction. So if you don't like how people in your life interact, talk to yourself about it, right? But you have to make a commitment to be kind and non-judgmental to yourself, to not repeat to yourself things that other people have said to you, being unkind or judgmental. Oh, that's because you always get it wrong, or that's because you never do the right thing. That is not okay. I deal with that very seriously. If you have any of that self-judgmental, self-denigrating self-talk, I really, really, really encourage you to address that in this year. Throw it into the pool. Whoever's voice that is, it wasn't your voice to begin with. You heard it somewhere, you learned it somewhere. Was it mum or dad, your older siblings, mean girls at school, whoever, boss who didn't like you, whatever? Chuck it into the pool. Go, I don't have to listen to that anymore. When did I decide that was true? When did I drop into that world? Because I don't want to live there. I reject that. I don't choose that. My first nature is love, and I'm willing to have a go at loving everybody, including, number 1, myself. Narcissists and selfish people are people who never think about anybody else, who only think about themselves. It's very unlikely to be one of you on this call, because a narcissist would never think they needed to hear this message, right? So when you do think about yourself, you're not becoming selfish or narcissistic. It's probably long overdue. But what we know is people who self-criticize and repeat the cruel and unkind words. As a baby, you didn't criticize yourself. As a toddler, you didn't criticize yourself. You had to hear that language from someone else. And if you heard it from someone else, it's time to say, hey, I'm a grown-up. I don't have to listen to this anymore. Who said this? I don't have to agree with that. I don't have to make a judgment about whether I'm good or bad or right or wrong or enough or not enough or too much or over the top or what. Who cares? I'm here. I've got a heart. I'm alive. I've got a body on planet Earth. Therefore, worthy of love and attention from me. No questions asked. You don't have to prove your worth to get love. You are love. I mean, if I was going to make a decision about values, my number one value is that every human is worthy of love. Now, we can have a big conversation about startling examples of people who are clearly doing horrible, dastardly deeds, but at the core, where there was a little baby came into the world, I don't think any of us would have stood over the crib and gone, that one, that's a dud. But funnily enough, when you have a baby, people just say, is he a good baby? It's like, no, it's a terrible baby. Who would say that? Right. So we all started out there, worthy of love. And I don't care what mistakes you think you've made or who you think you've let down or how blah blah. Really, I would love you to use this new year to prioritize and commit to you, to saying, this is my boundary, internal boundary. I will not listen to that destructive self-talk anymore. I will not. I refuse. That's my boundary. I don't talk to people who abuse me. I don't listen to people who abuse me. That's my boundary. I'm committed to this human being being treated with love, respect, and kindness. That's my boundary. And we can have clear boundaries. We say, I'm standing up and walking away. We go, I can't stand and walk away from my own head. Well, you can, metaphorically. You could see yourself going, no, no, that's my boundary. I'm not allowing that thought to continue. Now, often we look, yeah, but it's true, but you should listen. It's like, that's being arrogant if you don't listen to how you got it wrong. It's like, for the moment, this is not effective feedback. This is harassment. So I'm not going to listen. If I want to reflect later on how I could have done things better, I will do that. But I'll know I'm doing that because of the supportive, kind language that will be involved. There won't be haranguing and harassment of me not being good enough. I'm on to you. I know what it's like in there. So, let's start 2024 by saying, I really want to commit to giving myself a kind, loving, nurturing, intentional life this year. Which means not try harder, do better, coulda, shoulda, woulda. It's like love more. Consider more about how to make my life more fun, more loving, kinder to me. Because if I have to deal with all the D's of life, and we know up and down the country right now, people are dealing with disasters and devastations, and then all the private life, gut-wrenching, heartbreaking torments that humanity goes through every day, all around the planet. We don't have to feel that as our own. That doesn't help the people who are having that. If we commit to being a force for kindness and love on the planet, that is actually the greatest contribution we can make. The world needs more conscious, kind, loving, committed, open, self-aware people right now. It doesn't need people who are judging themselves, putting themselves down, working themselves ragged, telling themselves horror stories. It doesn't need more of that. You only have to turn on the news for people to tell you horror stories all the time. We have a lot of tools at our disposal, and if you run out of insight, our Quest website has so many free offerings, meditations, courses that you can do which are fabulous. And there are lots of those out there in the world as well. But the Quest is a great resource. Be proactive on your own behalf. You are the one in charge of your life experience. The love for you has to start with you. We can wait a long time for someone else to come and make us feel loved and valuable. And that's beautiful when that happens. But if we don't feel that in ourselves, we often brush it away. Oh, silly, We don't let it in because we can't believe it. So our willingness to, it's not about evaluating ourselves as worthy. You don't have to be worthy. You are worthy. You're here. You're in a body. You've won the universal lottery already. You've got a brain. It's working. You're here. That is worthiness. That's the only criteria. Now it's up to you to use that brain, use that consciousness, use that heart to the best possible means that you can, which means that you start by paying attention to what's going on in your head and by transferring it to your heart. Saying if there's mean thoughts, down thoughts, anxious thoughts, I'm going to put them in my heart and put them in my heart and put them in all the love in my heart. I'm going to take them to the pool. I'm going to give them to the pool. I'm going to find ways to help myself feel more calm, more present, come to my senses, be present, bring the love for me and for everyone and for the planet herself. We want to love this magical planet that we're on. Third rock from the sun, Milky Way galaxy, great big universe. How miraculous that we're here. What a marvel. Contemplate that every day. How can I be awake to the very matter of being here? It does matter that I'm here, clearly, or I wouldn't be here. So I invite you to say, yep, I'm going to make the choice. It has to be a choice. I'm going to stop waiting for life to get better. I'm going to stop waiting for things to clear up and clean up. You know, you get all your ducks in a row and then they fall off again, and that's life, keeps rolling. And sometimes it seems terribly unfair and way too much. And we do need someone to say, oh honey, that is terribly unfair and way too much. We're not saying soldier on and it's all okay and I'm fine, because that's never authentic. It's like, whoa, it's coming at me. People are asking me how was my Christmas and New Year ago. So it was eventful, it was colourful, but I found my way through it with love, grace and aplomb. Go me, right? It's like, I'm going to find my way through it with love in my heart. And some days I can, and some days I've got the about it. And that's all part of being human. But the commitment, you know, we give that example that when a plane is flying from Sydney to London, it's only actually ever pointing to London, the pilots tell us, 3% of the time. The rest of the time it's catching a tailwind here and it's going over something or other there and it's skirting a war zone here. It gets to London eventually, right? But it's had a journey, and that's us through this year. I'm going to have a journey, and I'm going to make it the kindest, lovingest, most peaceful journey I possibly can for myself this year. As things are happening, as I'm dealing with things. And it's not about dealing with things well, it's not about doing a good job, it's not about being enough, it's about, that's not what I'm going for, a good judgment, a good report card, a tick. I'm not going for any of that. I'm going for, am I feeling loved and supported right now because I'm taking care of me? Have I done something today to remind myself that I am worth it and that I've had a tough day? Am I giving myself comforting and soothing and nurturing as part of my commitment to my life mattering and my values, and having those boundaries in place where I say no to negative thinking. I say no to people asking more of me than I can give. And I say yes to myself and say, honey, mate, you are my priority. You are the one I'm actually 100% responsible for. Nobody else, except if they're a baby. Except infants, children under 7. No one else are you 100% responsible for. So I really hope this has been of some benefit and inspiration to you today. Thank you so much for joining me on this amazing Sunday. and let us set off together into this year with an intention to be the most loving, kindest, gentlest folk we can to ourselves for 2024. I hope I get to meet you or see you somewhere along the way this year, and I wish you all great blessings and great love. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, everybody.